Speedway for NASCAR's Sprint Cup Series, airing $4.99, to find out how Motorola digital products are helping NASCAR communicate even better. From the pit crews to the drivers to the EMTs, fire and safety, everywhere around the track, everyone is using MOTOTRBO to work a little bit better. Let's find out how. Mike, can you give us an idea of how many races NASCAR runs over the given season?
Yeah, in the entire NASCAR community, we'll run over 1,200 races at over 200 racetracks across America and into Canada and Mexico as well. As you can imagine, in Talladega, Alabama this weekend, we've got a community of about 40,000 people working the race, and they have to get direction. You do that through radios. So the buildup of that community that it takes for us to operate an event at the racetrack has become very dependent upon Motorola's equipment to talk to each other.
We're here at Racing Radio's trailer. This is the heart of NASCAR two-way radio communication for officials and several of the teams. Let's head inside and find out if we can see what makes this heart beat. And I'm here with Tony Canacha, sales and technical rep for Racing Radios. Tony, can you give us a little tour of your home away from home for the weekend?
We collect all the radio transmissions from all the cars through this system of 48 radios. We take these 48 radios, we compile the audio, we send it over a multiplexer, and we send that out through fiber out to the TV compound on the other side of the racetrack.
Can we hear a little bit?
Let me see if we got somebody that's talking that we can find some audio.
It's going to be a lot harder to pass. It's going to be stay in line.
Why did NASCAR make the switch to digital?
Well, it's just much more efficient usage of the spectrum. I mean, you've got so many radios out here operating in UHF between 450 and 470, 5,000 units. The turbo product enhances our accessories, with its noise-canceling characteristics and abilities built into the radio.
Do you do anything that's really specialized for the drivers?
We do a helmet package for their helmet with a microphone, and we wire the helmet up so that all they got to do is put the helmet on and they can talk. Now for them to listen, we do a custom set of molded earpieces that have a cord that comes down and plugs into the side of the helmet.
You got to actually pour some stuff in their ears?
Stuff in your ears, and we injection mold it, and then we send that off to a lab and they make it. You want to try it?
Do you guys also do ear piercings and tattoos? Wow.
That's what it looks like.
That's the molding, isn't it? That just wasn't my ear?
No, that's the inside of your ear. That's what the inside of your ear looks like.
That's a good-looking ear.
We'll send those off to the lab, and then when they come back, they'll look like this.
Can you give us an idea of how some of the MOTOTRBO features benefit NASCAR?
The clarity that it offered, the noise canceling capabilities that the radios had, the improved battery life. Some of our operational days are extremely long.
Can you give us an idea of the different disciplines and the different talk groups that are using the radios at any given time?
Of course, the main ones you have are race control, and you have fire and safety. All the fire and safety vehicles around the racetrack in full communication at all times. That's the NASCAR end of it. Of course, every team has their own communications. Each team has a spotter on the roof. In fact, here at Talladega, I believe they have 2 spotters, so that they can advise their driver if it's clear to move over or pass or whatever the case may be. Now, that's the racing end of it. As far as the track's concerned, you have all of your vendors, food services, security. Everything at the racetrack has to have radios.
You've got 3,000 acres here at Talladega Superspeedway. How do you communicate with your entire team?
Well, we're on the MOTOTRBO radios, and thankfully they just do a super job for us. We have to communicate pre-race, during the race, and most importantly for us, post-race, because after the race is over is really when our media operation kicks in full bore. That's when we bring in our drivers, our top 3 drivers, into the media center for interviews. That's when we take our driver, our winning driver, to victory lane. And then that's when we also check on things in garage and make sure that post-race inspection is going along as it should be. So we usually have a team of 6 to 7 individuals from the PR staff that are every racetrack. We've got to make sure that we can communicate quickly and concisely.
Steve, can you give us an example of a critical usage of the MOTOTRBOs here at NASCAR?
It's basically what we use them for every week. It's just the position of cars, working with the race director. When he has a question, you have to be where you can get in touch with him quick. The old radios was a lot of interference, or sometimes you wouldn't even hear it all with the static, but now with the new radios, it's so much clearer.
We're managing the traffic in and out of the garage, whether it be a mechanical failure or an actual car that's been involved in an accident on the racetrack. We communicate with the control tower what's taking place here in the garage. We will communicate to them what damages may have happened to the race car and whether we feel it can make minimum speed. And we'll work through the control tower and also work with the team in an effort to make sure that when the race car gets back on the racetrack, it can do all of those things. It's safe and can make minimum speed.
In today's world, we give everybody, every guy, both folks in this ambulance have a radio. All the people on that fire truck have a radio that can communicate with me constantly. So everybody is getting a clear, concise message of what's going on around them. Under race conditions, David Hoots is a race director, and he is the guy that says that the caution's out. Well, if you have a wreck, there's several different trucks around the racetrack: fire trucks, ambulances, wreckers, rollbacks, cleanup trucks, jet drivers, safer barrier crews. You communicate with all those folks, and you've got to give them specific instructions on where to go and how to go.
But we started converting over to the Motorola Turbos earlier this year on the nationwide side at Joe Gibbs Racing. Currently our crew chiefs and our drivers are using them, and they seem to be real pleased with the clarity and how they come across. And as we continue throughout the year, we'll continue that transition.
I think just the clarity that we get in the response time, used to you'd have a hesitation. Now you have that response time is so much better than the old analog. So I think it's a great product. The technology has carried us to a whole new level.
In communicating with the tower and the different groups, what's the most important facet of your MOTOTRBO?
The clarity, being able to communicate in a harsh environment, noisy, sometimes rain. We've got to be able to communicate, and with those radios, the improvement in the clarity is the thing that stands out the most.
Sometimes we have to make decisions, split-second decisions that are based on communication that we've just got in our earpiece through the MOTOTRBO. And thankfully, it's a consistent piece, it's a quality piece, and we're able to do our job a whole lot better than we have been in the past.
It's a rugged product. It eliminates both noise and interference, and that's what makes it the right product for NASCAR.
No matter who wins the race, every team is a winner with MOTOTRBO.